you even wearing? Why were you out so late?
What will people think if you report this? Are you sure it was really that serious?
Isn't this going to bring shame on the family? Shame on the family? Come on, go away, you shameless child. You are lying. I don't believe you. Shame on the family.
What were you wearing?
Come on, go away, you shameless child. I don't believe you.
Why were you out so late?
You are lying, child.
If you report this,
Stop! Shame, pain, and blame. This is what survivors of sexual violence in my community go through. Instead of support, we are judged, allowing those who hurt us walk freely. I was a victim, but today I choose to speak for myself and to all those whose voices have been silenced by shame. They don't believe us. They protect the perpetrators. They stigmatize us. But today, I say, stop! Globally, 1 in 3 women have experienced sexual and physical violence, according to World Health Organization. In Cameroon, the situation is compounded by the ongoing Anglophone crisis, leaving survivors without support or justice. The situation is compounded with a community who do not support survivors. Over 20% of gender-based violence cases involve rape, with many others stigmatized and unreported. I grew up in a village called Munyenge in Cameroon, where I witnessed my parents frequent domestic violence. At the age of 7, I moved to the city with my aunts, where I saw a world where women were respected and empowered. Unlike my community, where women had no voice. When a man beats his wife, people turn a blind eye. They will say, she is his wife. He paid for her. Let him do whatever he wants. And I thought, what nonsense. This attitude reflects how sexual and domestic violence often happen in abusive relationships. At the age of 10, I lost my aunt, and I returned to my village, determined to be like her, an educated and powerful woman. I loved education, but at 14, I got raped while schooling. It affected my overall performance. 2 years later, I was raped again. That left me pregnant. And guess what happened? The elders in my community who handle cases and pass judgment ruled that I should live with my abuser. According to them, he should carry his responsibility. Even my father, who wanted justice, was reminded of the financial cost involved. And so, I lived in an abusive relationship for 2 years. It was awful. There were moments I tried ending my life when I saw classmates returning home on holidays, looking full of hope. But I managed to escape with my daughter. I returned to school, selling cooked foods and second-hand clothes in the morning and going to school in the evening. My daughter was my symbol of hope, and music became my strength. By listening to music and watching talent shows that changed people's life, I got inspired and I started creating platforms for ethical social change, for others to share their stories and shine. Yet, I knew my journey wasn't over. Desire for total liberation took me to Kanthari, where I found my voice and the true meaning of my organization, Solange Rising Star. I choose to use my name as a survivor without shame to tell others that healing and strength are possible, calling on them to rise and join me for our flagship program, KacherKatan, meaning a butterfly in my local language. An initiative focused on bringing lasting change through collective action. By uniting survivors of violence, we are creating a global network of survivors, transforming pain and anger into a force for positive change. And saying enough of victim-blaming questions to questions of support and compassion. I dream of a world where rape is a thing of the past, survivors empowered, and communities uphold respect, consent, and dignity. With lived experience and researches, we have identified gaps and come out with 5 interventions to address sexual violence. 1, we have the Flash Initiative, where we train community leaders and elders as allies in the fight against sexual harm in their community. 2, we have the RISE program, where we educate students on respect, self-defense, and peer support against sexual violence through school clubs. 3, our STAR program, where we raise awareness through music, comedy, spoken words, and theater against sexual violence. And 4, the SHORE program, where we identify the survivors. We train them with leadership skills and empower them economically to manage rape cases within their communities. 5, we do not leave out the offenders. We work in prison with remorseful offenders, educating them to take account of their crimes and using their voice to deter others through advocacy. And also, we are preparing them for a mindset shift while they go back to their community upon their jail term. To all those who cause harm to us, reflect on your crime. Your action destroys lives and families. Our intervention gives you a second chance, not out of leniency, but for empathy and justice that we stand for. Remember, our loyalty ends with survivors. To everyone listening to me, if it were your loved one, will you stay silent? The time to act is now. Report every case you see around you, because if we ignore today, it could be a problem tomorrow. And to all survivors of violence, it is okay to cry, but it is not okay to stay silent. Your voice holds power. Now let me take you to the vision I have for all survivors, the life cycle of a butterfly.
The life cycle of a butterfly, a creature that begins in the dust as an egg, silent and unnoticed. The caterpillar, vulnerable, burdened and unseen, but full of potential. The chrysalis, a time of healing, growth, and transformation, silent but powerful. The emerging butterfly, breaking free, finding strength and embracing new possibilities. The soaring butterfly, the transformation, radiant, empowered, and ready to soar.
This is my story. I was once in the dust, burdened by pain and stigma, but I chose transformation. I stand before you as a butterfly and not a caterpillar, as a survivor and not a victim. In the silence, transformation takes place and the butterfly emerges, vibrant and free. This is the essence of KacherKatan, our flagship program. Together, we can transform pain to power, build communities where rape is history, victims to survivors. Let us end the silence and ignite change. Thank you.